What's up, my fellow aerospace nerds? Thought I'd do a quick video here. A couple things. First off, we got 1,000 subscribers. Yay! So that's really cool. I definitely thank all you guys for subscribing to my channel and for sharing it, liking the videos, commenting on them. I haven't been posting a lot lately. The last couple months I've been kind of in the middle of a move. Me and the wife bought a new house. And so I was moving the last couple, I was packing up, moving, and then unpacking. I've kind of got my desk set up right now, so you'll start to see a lot more videos come out from me. So I tried to do one or two on my laptop, and it wasn't that fun. So I just went ahead and waited till I got my desk set up. So it's set up, and we're good to go. So you'll start seeing a lot more coming out from me. Anyway. So this video, I thought since I just hit 1,000 subscribers, I do a fun video where we look at memes, review memes, more specifically engineering memes. So let's get to those memes. All right, the first one's going to be a DiCaprio meme. Let's see, engineering professor talks crap about non-engineering majors, the whole class. Yes, definitely. There is a bit of an ego that us engineers have, and we kind of think other majors are not quite worth it or important. So I definitely feel this has some truth, speaking some truth to us. I definitely do like it, so I'm going to go ahead and upvote that one. What's funny about this is we also make fun of each other, right? So if you're a mechanical engineer, you'll make fun of the electrical engineers. If you're electrical engineer, you make fun of the chemical engineers, and everyone makes fun of the civil engineers, of course. So they're not real engineers. All right, no stupid questions. Do you think it's possible for someone to actually be very intelligent but poor at articulating the point they're trying to make so they come across as stupid? Have you met engineers? Yes. Words are hard. We do math. That's the engineering mantra. In fact, sometimes the worse they are at the social skills, you kind of think they're a little bit better at the engineering skills. I'm definitely going to upvote that one. Yeah, so like this comment says, haha, ice melt, now steam, or boiler go psst. That's pretty funny. Sometimes it feels like that. Documentation. Documentation is... a lot of times in engineering, we're way behind on time with the projects, right? We come up with a crummy schedule that we try and meet after things slip, right? Something doesn't show up on time, something breaks, we get results we don't like, we have to rework something. And so then the schedule slips, and then we got to get it designed and tested and, make a PowerPoint real quick about the results. We don't really have a lot of time left to go back and do documentation. Yeah, I really wish we did, because sometimes when you get thrown on a different project and, you're trying to understand the system or what you're working on, some good documentation could really be helpful, but good luck if you have it. When you try to learn AutoCAD the night before your project is due. Oh, the Cybertruck. Yes. Oh, that's funny. Very basic shapes. It goes quick. Yeah, I'm gonna give that one an upvote. It's pretty good. So true. Okay, sad but true. Engineer in 1969 sends a rocket to the moon using a slide rule. Engineer now checks 2 + 2 on calculator during an exam. Oh man, I definitely did that. I don't know what it was. Maybe just you stop trusting yourself with some of your basic math skills, but I would definitely check. Maybe not 2 + 2, but you start doing stuff like 6 + 7. I think that's 42. But I'm just going to double check, right? You don't want to make that one mistake. Now, I think it actually comes from, at least for me personally, the idea that if I make a mistake earlier on in the problem, it's just going to carry on through to the end. And I don't want to make a stupid mistake towards the beginning and then it carries on through and then I only get partial credit. And yeah, so it was just a matter of, I know it's 42, but I'm not. I'm just going to put it in and make sure the calculator says that. There we go. Ooh, that's a really good comment. It kind of does talk about why we do it, you know. It's all about double and triple checking yourself, and then trying to figure out if what you expect it to be is what it says. Now that's actually a really good skill to develop, is your intuition of, you know, I think it should be around, like, it should be this, and then when you calculate it, if it doesn't seem to be that, then you could just double checking why it might not be. And sometimes you find errors and you just doing that, so definitely worth it. How it feels when my parents asked me to fix the washing machine after studying EE for 1 year. So true. So you're an engineer? Name every engine. That's so true. When you get a degree in engineering or you study engineering, everyone thinks, you know everything about everything. Can you guys please recommend books that made you cry? Statics. I actually kind of like statics. Not dynamics. No. No, I think the worst textbook I had an introduction to systems identification, and it was terrible. Actually, all right, there it is. This is the one that made me cry. I don't know, maybe it was just like the notation and stuff was all weird, and then the explanation wasn't very good. Like, I don't know, it almost felt like it was translated to English, kind of one of those books. But it was a fun class, but not a fun textbook. Yeah, I definitely feel this. Wait until you get to the other stuff, right? Statics, dynamics isn't so bad. I think it kind of is like that, right? You know, every class you're in is hard, and then you get to the next one and it's you kind of grow to that level of stuff, and then the next one is like harder, but you kind of get used to it, and so they're all kind of a little bit harder and harder. Then you look back on it and be like, I guess that wasn't so hard after all, you know? I actually kind of want to do that. I want to go back over all my textbooks and just see how, kind of like, and just, you know, just see what they're like rereading it now that I've gone all the way up through and got my degree. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead. Sorry. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and vote that one. Yes. Thermodynamics or control systems, that's still on me. I, believe it or not, was kind of focused on controls. That's what I want. I studied in school, and that's what I got a job doing. And that's the book I held up. Funny how it says that those haunt you. My friend's dad, a retired engineer, said he would still occasionally get these haunts in the middle of the night, thinking he has exams or projects that are coming up. Well, I don't know. I still get those, but I don't think it's about exams or like school projects. But you get that about the projects you're working on, right? It's like, I got that deadline coming up. I need to get that testing done, or I need to figure out that error that I'm seeing. You know, I've already been working on it for a day or two now, and I've got this due at the end of the week. So I think it's more about the current work for me anyway. Engineer's reality. Thinking about the stuff you can make as an engineer, doing your actual engineering homework. That's good. Yeah, people retaking first year's courses. First years. I don't think it's first years that's for. That's more like a third or fourth year thing. But it's pretty funny. Now, luckily, I never had to do it, but there's always like 2 or 3 classes where almost everyone has to take again. You know, I was lucky I did not have to do that. Feels like in my university, one of those was like stability and controls. But I don't know, maybe it's because that's what I enjoyed. I didn't have too bad of a problem with that one. And it's not always that you're retaking it. You know, sometimes if it's not part of that critical path through your degree, you might just put something off just because you don't want to take it, and then you're getting close to graduating. You're like, ah, crap, I still got to get that one done. So then you'll end up being 3rd or 4th year in one of those, you know, year 1, year 2 classes. It's pretty common. Or you're just trying to get an easy A to pull your GPA up. Let's say you like the anime if you haven't read the manga. Oh, that's funny. Yes. I never really had to do this one, but yes. Oh, there we go. That's why it is. Fire, water, air, and earth. That makes more sense. If you die in the same hospital in which you were born, then your average velocity will be 0. Oh, got burned. Yes, technically, since you know the Earth is moving in space as well, it's not technically a initial reference frame. Yeah, it's not going to be 0. It can never be 0. I like that one. That's some good smart aleck points there. That's funny. The amount of work done in someone's life was 0. That's pretty funny too. Because work equals force times distance. If the distance is 0, oh man. Hey man, you did no work. Your life was pointless. Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna give that one some upvote. Professors, when they see have 24 hours a day, it's yes. That's part of the fun of engineering. Is you're always taking, you know, 4, 5, 6 classes, and they all think that's the only class you're taking. So it's like, let me just assign projects and do exams as if I'm the only class here. And that's why you end up with some pretty rough weeks where you get not a lot of sleep because you're studying for multiple exams, doing multiple projects. Every other major, can't you do something about your superiority complex, engineers? But I am superior. So true. Yes, this is so much truth right here. What kind of engineering is superior over the others then? My kind of engineering. I agree, my kind is better. That's what it all boils down to, that everyone thinks their engineering is better, and maybe that's part of the superiority complex. Maybe it also comes from the fact that a lot of times in undergrad we have to be well-rounded, and so they give us like the basic intros into some of the other fields, and so we feel like we know everything about that field, right? You know, like I did aerospace engineering, and you know, I took a intro to chemistry, or not chemistry, and I took an intro to chemical engineering. Chemistry? Which one did I take? Anyway, so then, you know, I can understand why some people after that would be like, I know everything there is to know about chemistry. But it's not true. So I think that might play into it a little bit. I don't know, what do you guys think? Me explaining all the really cool engineering stuff I'm learning the rest of my family at Christmas. I don't know if I've really tried to explain some engineering stuff I was learning to my family. Maybe I did this one and didn't even realize I was doing it. I don't know. High school versus college. Calculating the volume of a cylinder. And then, yes. So true. This is definitely what a lot of your engineering classes feel like. Struggle continues. Step-by-step solution. Step 1 of 54. I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. Yeah, especially on like exams when they give you that problem. You're like, oh, it's one of those problems. It's going to take forever. I don't want to do that one, but I have to. A lot of times you'll leave it for last. You'll do the other ones, then you'll come back to them and be like, all right, fine. Can't procrastinate any longer. I've done the other ones. Let's just get this one done. No, he's got a point. Just because we are engineers doesn't mean we know basic math. Yes, so true. Where's my calculator? I need to know the answer to 5 plus 7. Where's my calculator? Yes, that is definitely an upvote. I think it's definitely because we're, as engineers, we take what we need to from math and we take what we need to from science and we make stuff with it. So we need to know a little bit of both of those, but we don't have to be super great at them. It definitely helps though. Definition of an engineer. Oh, I know this one. I've heard this one before. A person who solves problems that you did not know that you had using methods you do not understand. I feel like that's only part of it. Wasn't there other ones? Oh, maybe that is all that. I thought it was. Thought there was more to that one. Anyway, sorry. Number 2, a person that has forgotten more about math than you'll ever know. So true. We learn it to forget it, so that we can relearn it quickly if the job requires. Physics students, haha, you suck at math. No. Engineering students, you suck at math. We know. Yes, we know. But we're not trying to do math, we're trying to do engineering. And so, going off of that, if I know more math than I need to solve a problem, isn't that inefficient? And aren't we always trying to strive for efficiency? Right? Something to think about. Vicious circle. What really goes on in the engineering department? How do I... Yeah, see, this is a common meme that I come across, and I don't quite understand why. I don't know, maybe it's just the generation I'm born in. We always had a button that would tell us, that would give us pi on our calculators, on our computers, programming. I never really had to do that. Maybe if I'm doing the math in my head, I might just kind of quick rough estimate as 3 just to get in the ballpark, but we just always would hit the pi button. Engineering students graduates after cheating online classes and exam buildings in 2022. I do worry about nowadays with all of the classes being online. Let's see what happens though. Learning English to communicate with the world. Learning Japanese to understand anime. Learning Korean to understand K-pop. Learning Hindi to understand engineering tutorials on YouTube. Yes. Every engineer eventually stumbles upon an Indian YouTube video when they're trying to figure out a problem. It's always that one project or that one homework that you're trying to do a problem and you're trying to figure something out teacher didn't explain it well enough, or you didn't write it down in your notes good enough, or the textbook's kind of bland about it, and you turn to YouTube, and you find kind of those videos and try and figure it out from there. That's actually part of the reason why I started this channel, was to do that, was to get some better engineering content on YouTube, kind of help you guys out through your programs at university, and also maybe your jobs. Maybe you get a job doing something and you're like, oh crap, I need to go figure this out. So now that might be a good note to end on. Just kind of a nice segue to my channel. Check out my channel. I do this is kind of a new thing where I'm doing engineering memes. I'm still a small channel. I think I've got like 50 something videos. I do videos on lectures, I do software tutorials, project videos. This is kind of a new thing for me, is doing a meme review video. So definitely check out my channel. It's all about aerospace engineering and helping you kind of develop and master those skills. So if you like this video, or you like the content I share, or the videos I make, subscribe to the channel, share it with some of your classmates or your coworkers, and the more this channel grows, the better content I can have, and better equipment stuff I can have, and the funner projects I can do. So definitely go check it out. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. I hope you enjoyed it. This was supposed to be more of a fun video looking at memes. So I will see you in the next video. Thanks.